What's up?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Digi Bros. It's a new episode.
Crack-a-lacka.
So we tried to record this the other day, and after like 5 minutes, for some reason, Audacity kept breaking on us.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be very careful right now, and either one of two things is gonna happen: either you're not gonna hear this because Audacity broke and we threw it away,
Yeah.
or you're gonna hear us waffling carefully for like a few minutes while we determine whether or not
Don't talk
it's
about
gonna...
anything important yet.
Yeah.
Waffle quite carefully.
I'll talk about this actual subject because I was laying in bed thinking I was planning this intro for this video.
I see.
And
I'm glad you had a game plan, bro.
the thought of me explaining this, knowing that there's a chance that if it broke, it would just go away, was like existential dread.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
Is that not like the most surreal fucking
Yeah,
thought?
definitely.
Like especially right now, because now we're getting
Yeah, I mean
animated about it.
Now that you put it like that, it's incredibly surreal.
Yeah, and if we lose it, won't it fuck with your head for like the rest of the day?
Yes, it will.
So
yes, it will.
So yeah, now that we're both in the middle of like a really intense, fucked up existential crisis, I've had both things recording for 7.5 minutes. That's longer than we ever lasted the other day.
Yeah, definitely. I'm nervous, man. I don't know how to feel, man. Restarted your computer in the last few days.
Scary, complex place. I don't think so. That probably would have been a good idea.
Sketch. Don't trust. I don't trust, man.
I don't trust.
Like that. Motherfucker ain't even restarted his computer. That means nothing's changed. No change can happen unless you restart. It's the circle of life, man.
The circle of life. Alright.
What's up? I found the guy. I found the little dude with his creepy red rabies eyes. Oh god. You remember Bunnicula?
Yes.
The book Bunnicula?
I remember
the red-eyed
Did you
rabbit?
like read all of it?
I own that shit, man.
Did you read all of it?
I don't think I read every installment of Bunnicula.
I mean, like, did you read all of the book?
Yeah,
like,
that was a tiny book.
I
actually did
13.
read books. That was way earlier than 13, bro.
Whatever. You, up until the point where you were like
elementary
15,
school,
did
man.
not read anything.
Except it's funny because I read the most books when I was younger. They were just shitty, flimsy books. Like I read a fuckload of Magic Treehouse books.
I remember that.
Read Bunnicula. I think I actually did read Bunnicula 2.
Did you ever read Captain Underpants?
Yes, I read several. Weren't those comics though? Or no, they were books and comics.
Yeah, it was like books that had comics in them.
Yeah,
it was
I read
like
a few
light
Captain
novel
Underpants.
with comics in it.
I read a few children's books when I was a child because you had to for school. They made you read shit.
Right.
I read
I mean,
Holes.
I did. Well, I read Holes like fucking 4 times
I think it
for
was like
school
5th
for some
grade.
reason.
Right, I just
Yeah,
did this.
I
the other
definitely
day.
read the most books when I was the youngest and least accepting of literature as something I was
Yes.
interested in, which is
I
very
didn't want to
ironic.
read books. That's why I'd only read stupid shit like children's, like little kid books, man.
Right.
With animals, man. Books about animals.
What
That
was
was
that
my
turtle
shit.
one?
Turtle one.
You have like a turtle book.
That was like more of a picture book though.
Was it that super depressing one with the tortoise?
Yeah, something about that.
It's like the old tortoise or something, and it's just like this fucking turtle lives forever, and it's depressing for no reason.
That doesn't count because that's like one of those picture books. Which I love books with pictures. Those are the shit. Why wouldn't you want fucking art in your book? It's like I was excited when I read that dot hack light novel. Cause it was like after every chapter you get like a picture of the character, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, you get pictures.
That's pretty amusing. I never I mean, obviously it is one, but at the time I don't think I really knew the term light novel.
I think Boogie Pop had those too. But yeah.
Yeah, Boogie Pop is the OG light novel. I mean, that's what defines a light novel, is that it has pictures
That it
in
is
it,
Boogie Pop.
basically. Well, no, not anymore, but having pictures is what basically makes
Which is
it a
cool,
light
because then
novel.
you can see the characters, and they look better than what you were thinking in your stupid 13-year-old
Well,
mind.
that's what's funny about it. Like,
unless they don't.
is that's what's weird about light novels, is that like when I read a book, the pictures in my head are not usually like anime style. It's usually more like realistic and stuff. And so like when I look at the images in those books, I usually have like a hard time reconciling it with the picture in my head.
I can never picture people's eyes when I read books, which is weird to me. The faces never have eyes. Maybe that's why I don't like books.
I don't think the people have any distinct qualities other than hair color in my head when I read books.
The hair color is the only qualities I have. Okay.
I mean,
you usually see like their body and stuff, you know.
I am
whatever
like
they're wearing if it's described.
For me, when I read a book, I very quickly decide what the location looks like, and I have a very hard time changing the image in my head.
And they always have dub voice actors. I always imagine their voices as like this generic fucking dub voices. Fucking Chris Chiaki sounding ass motherfuckers.
Why do you have to go back to your hometown now? You failed the college entrance exams twice now. Oh my god. Yeah.
My rabbit is a vampire! This is Panicula dub.
God.
I need to do audiobooks in Chris Chiaki voice.
Jesus Christ. I would love to see it. Yeah, books are funny because like I think my one of the hardest things for me with books is like that it's so like unclear, you know, like you're really making most of it in your head, and I don't like that. Like I don't like the like weird wishy-washy vague universe in my head, you know.
Yeah.
It always feels
you just have like apparently you have this like dark and lacking imagination. It's not so much that I can't picture it as that like it's so like because as you're reading the description of things changes, you know, and then like and it's never in depth enough where it's like if you see a picture of it you can be like, oh, that's awesome, that's
right.
Like that's not the image I had at all.
And then they'll like if an author like fucks with you or something, like, you know, oh, dramatic reveal, this character was a girl all along, it was dressed as a guy, and then you're like, I have to completely rethink
my image of
everything.
My image of that guy was not like that at all.
Exactly. Sort of like I recently, I haven't listened to it yet, but I accidentally got an Audible subscription that I didn't know about, because like you know how everybody does those, hey, sign up for Audible and get a free book and it'll support my channel. Well, I did that for JonTron, like, early on when he started doing the Audible shit, and I got the book Jam by Yahtzee Croshaw, because I own a copy of... I actually bought 2 copies of Jam, because I lost the first one, bought a second one, and still never read past, the first chapter. Because it's, like, it doesn't... Like, from the beginning, I didn't feel as into it as I did with Mogworld, which was, like, which I really loved. But, like, I
read Mogworld.
So I got the audiobook version of Jam with that free Audible trial. Well, what I didn't realize is that Audible is one of those where if you don't cancel it, it just turns into an official subscription. But only, like, way later. Because, like, I signed up for that, like, a year ago. Yeah. And then I'm looking through...
You get, like, a free year that it fucks you. It's like Amazon Prime, where it's like, I had the student free one, and then, like, all of a sudden that goes up, and it charges $100 to my credit card without asking, and I'm like, oh, sweet! Refund me, please.
Yeah.
That was money I didn't necessarily have, bro.
Yeah, that was pretty bad when that happened. But, like, with Audible, you know, I'd signed up for this free trial because of JonTron, but the thing with Audible is that, like, it's $15 a month, but you don't get the books for free. You still pay for the books.
Of course.
Now, every month they give you a credit towards getting a free book, so you can buy any book for free once a month. But, like, yeah, you have to pay for the books anyways. So, like, I had this free audiobook trial, and then I'm looking at my bank account statement, and I see, like, $15 to Audible, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't... What? And then, of course, I'm worried because I'm like, how long have I been paying for this? Because I know I signed up for that, like, ages ago. And I had 2 months that it had charged me, right? But because of the free account trial, I had, like, 6 credits for free books. So I was like, all right, I'm going to cancel the trial, cancel my account, but I'm going to, you know, use these 6 credits and get 6 audiobooks that, you know, maybe I'll listen to one day.
Yeah.
And one of the ones I got is Mogworld. And, like... I haven't really listened to it yet, but I've listened to, like, a preview of it, and I'm really curious about what voices Yahtzee gives these characters because
true.
I had really specific accents for all of them in my head.
Of course.
And like, I feel like they're gonna be totally different because Yahtzee's also he loves his British accents, like his different regional accents and shit. So I know he's gonna give them all like specific regional accents.
Need to think about.
But like,
voices.
I feel like no matter what, it's not gonna be the same as it was in my head because they had such specific voices in my head.
Of course.
When I listened to the preview, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be weird, especially for like, there's a character named Slippery John, and in my head he just has like this like. Slippery John, like really dopey, deep voice kind of guy.
Slippery John will not be the same.
And I don't think he's gonna be like that at all.
Yeah.
And then there was the girl. I always imagined her as having the same voice as the girl in Shaun of the Dead who he runs into every once in a while, who's like, Shaun!
Oh god.
You remember that girl?
Yes.
Yeah, like that exact voice is how the girl sounded to me in my head. And it's like, it won't be the same if it's not literally played by that actress.
You know what really fucked me up as a kid?
What?
Is that I saw the movie for Holes before I read the book.
Oh yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
And so, yeah, you imagine Shia LaBeouf, the kid in Holes is supposed to be a fat kid.
Yeah.
And so, I'm reading the book, all I can think about is Shia LaBeouf, and like the images of the movie, and it's described totally differently in the book.
You know, now that
Like,
you
this
brought
is
that up,
wrong.
I think that's why I never saw the
He
movie,
was there all
because
the time.
I had read Holes like once or twice when the movie came out, and when I saw that it wasn't a fat kid, I was like, what the
They leave a lot out
What
in that
the
movie.
fuck is the
but
point?
Of course, it's a fucking...
Because that was like his whole arc.
Exactly.
You know?
How robbed were fat kids, man? They could
Totally
have had
robbed.
representation in a movie for once, and no, they were fucked by Shia LaBeouf.
The whole world's been fucked by Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, man. I kind of want to keep going on the topic of books for the rest of this episode.
Keep going, man.
I don't have anything specific right now.
Oh, well, then why do you want to keep going if you're so into the topic?
Well, because the next thing I talk about, I don't know if it's going to last a while.
Yeah, I grew up reading, like, that basic shit that you read in high school.
Basic bitch shit. You know.
Dude,
The Magic Tree House.
did I tell you about what I consider to be the most precious...
Typical high school books.
This is the most precious comment I've received recently.
Uh-huh.
Now, you know, the comments I get on my videos run, like, the whole gamut of types of people, life experiences, like, attitudes, perspectives, like... Every day I read a comment that's so different from the last one I read that it's like a person from another world.
Of course.
And there was one video on my... I think it was on the Ghost in the Shell video, right?
Uh-huh.
Because there's a part in the Ghost in the Shell video where I talk about how I tried to watch the show when I was like 16 and I thought it was completely boring and I didn't give a fuck. But now that I'm an adult, I like it a lot, and I consider it to be a pretty adult show. Now, I'm not saying younger people can't get into it.
Yes.
And, you know, I knew people in high school who were into it, like Derek.
Yes.
But, like, I don't think Derek understood the deeper concepts of the show.
Of course.
I think there's reasons that the show is entertaining and cool that any young person can appreciate, but, like... Some of its deeper social messages are pretty high level, you know? Like, it expects you to know some shit about some shit.
About some shit. Know some shit about some shit.
Yeah. And because it takes a very, like, it doesn't try to explain shit the way most shows would. It just assumes you know things, you know?
Of course.
So if you didn't know those things, you wouldn't even realize. You wouldn't realize that the show expected you to know it. Yeah. So, like... So I've gotten some comments over time that are from, like, you know, people saying, hey, I'm 14 and I love this show. And I'm like, all right.
Cool,
I mean, that's
good for
fair
you,
enough.
bro.
But there's one kid,
ones.
this was so fucking precious. This kid says, like, I believe the quote was, I like this show and I'm 14. Then again, I'm not like most 14-year-olds. I've read 1984.
Oh! Oh! Kid of the year, right there.
I just thought
that's
it
my
was
favorite.
so precious, because 1984 is basic high school reading
Exactly.
that I read when I was
This
14.
this kid's probably read it in high school.
Right.
So yeah.
I thought it was
I love it.
pretty adorable.
Pretty awesome. I never read any of the high school reading books. Like, I got fucked out of all of those. Or I
surely you
ignored
read
them.
some.
No, never read 1984. Never read
Well, 1984 was like considered an advanced one. in high school because like
I mean,
I read it in I did read it in my freshman year, but because I was in like an advanced placement class,
wasn't that?
and then we were supposed to read it in 12th grade, and the teacher literally said, I'm not gonna get you guys to read this because I know none of you are gonna read it. He was like, I just you're not gonna do it.
That was what's his name? The awesome looking dude, right?
Yeah, Mr. Norris.
Mr. Norris, yeah. Because that was the same thing for my class. Like, we were supposed to read some of those, like, classic books.
Yeah.
And he just, like...
Oh, you had him?
It was awesome. Yes, I had Mr. Norris, but in the regular, like, the not advanced class.
Well, it wasn't advanced when I was taking his class. It was just...
But he was one of my favorite teachers. No, it's because you had him in 12th grade.
If it was the advanced class, we
11th
definitely
grade.
would have read the fucking book.
Yeah.
But he was like...
But he was awesome because
our class gave so little shit, and he gave so little shit about trying to...
He was like a total hard ass with the advanced classes, but with the normal classes, he knows nobody gives a shit.
Right.
And so he doesn't... He totally half-asses it, and it was awesome sometimes because he'd read us the book, and he's just such like an awesome voice.
Yeah, he did that for us a couple times. He had a very like droning.
I think we actually did read
stuff.
of like Lord of the Flies, but I slept through the whole thing because he was reading it to us, so it didn't matter. And then he just bullshit the test.
Anything that was read to us, I definitely slept through.
Yes.
But yeah, we were supposed to read 1984, but he didn't assign it to us, and I was like, well, I've read it before anyway.
All of high school English, man. I could have had straight A's, but I slept through. It was literally the time I allowed myself to sleep in school, because I always had to sleep because like there's just something wrong with me.
Right. Same here. I mean, I
was just like, all right, I'm allowed to sleep through this class because I can get by without literally with no knowledge of what's going on. I can still get by because I have good test taking skills.
English is the easiest fucking class ever. But like, I got mediocre grades in English, even though I was like, all I was doing was writing at home.
Yes.
You know, like as someone who was passionate about writing.
Of course, because any essay I'd get a fucking 100% A+.
Right.
Because
but if
writing
it's like
is
book
easy.
knowledge, then or like
It's just like problem solving and structure skills. And being a smartass. Being a smartass gets you real far.
I guess that's enough on that topic and the end of this episode of Digi. So come back next time. Victor's got a story for us.
Not a story yet, but
Oh, okay.